What's going on, fellow A-Plusters? It's your boy Adam Perez back once again with another news update video for you guys today as we're going to dive into the world of Spider-Man. Now, for those of you who know, Spider-Man's one of my favorite characters, so I'm always eagerly anticipating any sort of content from the web slinger himself. Now, when it comes to Sony and Spider-Man, unfortunately, my expectations on the movie side of things are pretty low. I personally feel like I've been burned by the first two Venom films along with Morbius. So I'm really tempering my expectation from anything that Sony winds up dropping on the movie side. Surprisingly, I'm actually kind of excited to see what Madam Web turns out to be, but again, lowering my expectations. Where my expectations are high when it comes to Sony and Spider-Man, though, is on the television side of things, simply because of the fact that they have Lord and Miller attached as executive producers, and they've done such a fantastic job so far with the Into the Spider-Verse side of things that anything that they touch right now, you've got my attention. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that they currently have a Silk project in the works over at Amazon Prime. And earlier on today, ladies and gentlemen, apparently there's a second project that is currently in the works, as Variety.com is reporting to us today that a Spider-Man Noir live action series is currently in the works over at Amazon. You guys might certainly recall Spider-Man Noir from Into the Spider-Verse. He was actually voiced by Nicolas Cage as well. He's been one of my fan favorites, not only from that movie, but also in comic books as well. Him, along with Spider-Punk, honestly, is some of my favorite sort of multiversal world Spider-Man that is certainly out there. So the idea that this is going to be executive produced by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller definitely has my attention. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the details in here really briefly. It says a Spider-Man Noir live action series is in the works over at Amazon. Variety has learned exclusively. Now, just for some details for you guys, it says the untitled series will follow an older, grizzled superhero in 1930s New York City. An individual with knowledge of the project says that the show will be set in its own universe and the main character will not be Peter Parker. Just from this alone, the own universe stuff certainly makes sense to me if you ask me. Clearly, Spider-Man Noir was pulled from his universe into the Spider-Verse movie that we wind up seeing here, and I really dig the idea that this is sort of going to be a period piece set in the 1930s and not necessarily Spider-Man Noir in present day. So yeah, I'm assuming if anything we will get that noir feeling to it. I'm hoping it's definitely going to be in black and white with certainly some detective aspects to it as well. I am fascinated in the idea that this main character will not be Peter Parker. I do wonder if this is going to be a sense of maybe there was a Peter Parker Spider-Man Noir at some point in time, but maybe he passed down his abilities or his power set or his costume and somebody else wind up picking up the mantle. That is just speculation on my part. I am really interested to see how they go about making this character without necessarily Peter Parker. I haven't followed this character so much in comic book form as of late, so I'm not quite sure if who's under the mask is Peter Parker or someone else, but I'm really looking forward to this. It says this is the second known project based on the Sony controlled Marvel characters at Amazon Prime Video and MGM. It was previously announced that Amazon was moving forward with the series Silk Spider Society, which we certainly talked about, from showrunner Angela Kang, with several other shows in the works. It is unknown at this time which other Marvel characters will be featured on other Amazon shows. It does say in here, Oren Uzel will serve as writer and executive producer on the Spider-Man Noir show. Uzel developed the show along with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse producers Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, along with former Sony boss Amy Pascal as well. So yeah, Sony Pictures Television is the studio, with Lord and Miller currently under an overall deal. So they're making great content over there, or at least have the idea to certainly make great content. It says this version of the iconic superhero lives in New York during the Great Depression. When he originally debuted back in 2009, he is bitten by a spider hidden inside a stolen artifact, causing him to have visions of a spider god who grants him superpowers. years. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, guys, honestly. And for me, again, it really just kind of comes down to the idea that when I think of Spider-Man, or Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Noir was definitely one of my favorites. I definitely don't expect them to get Nicolas Cage in this role. I mean, who knows? Maybe they certainly do, right? I mean, it does talk about an old sort of grizzled superhero in the 1930s. So, I mean, could they get Nicolas Cage back to certainly portray the role? Who certainly knows? I was under the impression that Nicolas Cage's character was a Peter Parker, so it might confuse me a little bit if Nicolas Cage were to come back and certainly portray this role. But him as a web slinger just feels a little bit odd to me. But maybe they can definitely make it work, right? There are times when I hear Nicolas Cage's voice, I automatically think of was it Big Daddy from Kick-Ass, if I'm not mistaken, his Batman persona. So I do wonder if it would be maybe a little bit jarring to see him in this particular role for Spider-Man Noir. But regardless who's under the mask, I think the idea of this clearly being significantly different from what we're getting from Silk. I think the idea of this being a period piece certainly helps. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this winds up turning into black and white. And I think if you ask me, I think Lord and Miller are doing a great job in selecting specifically certain characters that will definitely work to their advantage in regards to what Spider-Man characters they can pick and choose and create to bring to live action, or maybe some animation deal certainly down the road, right? I think it's important to really create other bigger pieces out of this world and not necessarily having to rely so much on Peter Parker or even Miles Morales for that going forward in the future. So I do think that they have something really great here. While I was certainly was excited for Silk and just the Cindy Moon character overall, I think somebody like a Spider-Man Noir really just shakes things up a little bit and really kind of gives us some diversity even more to the types of Spider-Man content that we're certainly going to be getting and going forward. So yeah, man, Spider-Man Noir live action in the works over at Amazon. But again, these are just simply my brief thoughts and ideas in regards to this upcoming live action. At the end of the day, they're my opinions, but I certainly want to know yours. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section box below. What's your excitement level for this particular series? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section box below. And until then, do me a big favor. As always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.